Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Tom LaHue. We're going to be looking at the Clifton StrengthsFinder Strength of Responsibility today. So this is an area that most of us could use a little bit of work in being more responsible. So I hope that this session is helpful for you, encouraging you to take ownership and responsibility for your actions and your behavior to be more productive as a husband, father, mother, grandparent, worker, team member, wherever you find yourself. Just a reminder, in the description below is a link to my website, tomlahue.com, where I do Enneagram coaching, relationship coaching. I also have a lot of different courses available on demand and live on Zoom, and I'd love for you to participate in those courses. I have a brand new course out right now based on my book, Great Life, 10 things that you need to get right in your life. Also, if you join my Enneagram community on my website, I have a free mini course download for you called Know Your Why. And it's important that you think about, what am I here on earth to do? What is my purpose here? So thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about this strength right here, responsibility. And this is kind of in the middle or middle bottom of my list of strengths. There's 34 altogether in strength finders in their system. And this is in the executing domain of getting things done. There's 4 different domains, and we're wrapping up. We're getting to the end of the executing domain. We have one more after this on restorative, but this one's on responsibility, number 24 out of 34 in my list, so not great. Not proud of that. It's obviously something I need to work on. I do feel like I'm a very responsible person, but when I read this, I recognize, this doesn't come naturally to me. Probably comes much more naturally to Enneagram type 1s, for example. Maybe some type 2s and 6s and possibly some 9s. But 7s are probably going to struggle with this strength. So let's talk about what it is. Responsibility. And here's the words on this card. It says, people who are exceptionally talented in this responsibility theme will take psychological ownership of what they say and what they will do. They're committed to stable values such as honesty and loyalty. Again, I think of myself, I'm like, I'm honest, probably too honest, and loyal, definitely loyal. But let's come back to this idea of like psychological ownership. And I think the way I might say that is a great sense of duty to follow through on your commitments and really owning those commitments and feeling the weight of that responsibility of, I said I was going to do something, and now I can't call in and try to get out of it. I can't dismiss this. I can't ignore what was promised. I made a commitment, and now I have to follow through on that commitment. And so there's a great weight to this responsibility. He says on this card, it says, I am someone others often trust to get things done. And so people, will seek you out because they know that when you commit to doing something, you're going to follow through on it. And they know that they can trust that you're going to get those results. You're not going to cut corners. You're not going to try to get out of it. You're not going to try to pass it off on someone else. And so when people invite you to volunteer or to serve on their team, they know they're getting a stand-up, reliable person that's going to follow through. Now, of course, there's a lot implied in this. If you are this person who scores very high in responsibility, then you're going to have good boundaries, because you're going to have to be able to say no to people, because people are going to keep coming to you. When you follow through and get things done, even if there's a little bit of aggravation on your part or frustration on your part, people are going to continue to come to you because they know they can count on you. And that's a wonderful thing, but you're going to have to be responsible for owning your yes and owning your no. In other words, you can't volunteer for everything. So you're going to have to be willing to say no to people. I'm sorry, I'd love to be able to help you, but I just have too much on my plate right now. I'm sorry, I'd love to be able to help you. I'm sorry, I know this is really important, but I'm just overwhelmed with other things that I've got to take care of. Thank you for asking me. Thank you for understanding. And probably you can already do that, but if not, this is going to become a big problem for you because you're going to become overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you're going to get increasingly frustrated, irritated, hard to live with, and you're eventually not going to be able to follow through on everything that you've committed and everything you've promised. So, okay. All right, let's look, keep going here. It says, I am someone who who others trust to get things done. I will keep my promises and follow through on commitments. So be careful how much you promise. Be careful what you commit to. And how do you respond to people that don't follow through on their commitments, or people that struggle with getting things done that they promise to get done? Are you tolerant with people like that, or do you find yourself to be, not very tolerant with people who promise more than they deliver, as I might imagine? I bring dependability and loyalty. Dependability type 1, loyalty type 2, and I'm not or type 6. I'm not saying other types aren't dependable, other types aren't loyal, but when you just think about the basic definition of what a type 1 is, you're going to get the concept of dependability, like reliability. People that mean what they say and follow through on their commitments. And then loyalty, you think of type 6s. So I think 1 in 6 are probably going to lead the way often in these. I'm not saying everyone's going to be like this, but chances are, those are going to be the types that I would think would score high on this issue of responsibility, probably higher than 3s. Some 3s are going to be very responsible, but some might struggle. And of course, 7s. Please, let's get to another category. Let's get to influencing or relationship building or strategic thinking or something else, because I'm recognizing this executing or executive domain is just something that I need help with. Okay, Lord help us. Lord help us. Okay, I need freedom to take ownership. And so, I would say it like this. You might be the kind of person, if you're high in responsibility, that has to have that difficult conversation with your manager or with your boss that says, look, I need you to trust me. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to get these things done. I don't want to have to report in every 3 days with you. Let me do my job. Let me get my work done, and I will prove to you through my loyalty and my dependability that you don't have to check in on me all the time. So I'll be happy to check in with you, but I just need some freedom. Don't push me into time constraints, because I might take a little longer, because I'm not going to sacrifice quality for speed. And so you might have to have that difficult understanding. You might have to work that out and negotiate that with the powers that be, that I need some space and I need some trust. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to follow through, but give me my own time frame. And I tell you something else that might be very helpful for you is some kind of rubric or metrics or some type of assessment that you get positive feedback. Because my guess is that it's probably important to you to go to bed at night believing that you're the kind of person to get things done, but you also would like for there to be objective metrics in place by which you can accurately evaluate yourself and by which others can accurately evaluate your work and the quality of your work. My guess is this person is not going to be comfortable with sacrificing the quality of their work in order to just get quicker, faster, quantitative results. Okay, so I need freedom to take ownership. And I would say this too, just as a side note here, is you might struggle with giving ownership to other people because you have this great sense of responsibility that if it is to be, it is up to me. And that's great. I respect that. Believe me, I respect that. I get chills thinking about it. I respect your commitment and your level of dedication. But you gotta be willing to release some of that responsibility to other people to allow them to come alongside of you and to offer assistance and help, because you can't carry everything on your shoulders. you're going to weigh yourself down. It's going to have implications for your attitude, your positivity, and your mood, and your health, and your stress level. And so you're a person that needs ownership. Are you a person that can delegate and give ownership and share? Let's say it that way. That's better. Are you a person that is willing to share that ownership with others? And that might be hard for you. So while you are a person who owns things well, you may not realize the blind spot there of not being able to release and share that ownership with other people. Okay. All right. I love the respect of others. I love the respect of others. My guess is you're probably the kind of person that believes in chain of command. There's a person above me. I follow the orders. As long as they don't go against my internal guidance system, I follow orders. I expect the people beneath me to follow orders. And when we work this way, we work as a regiment to accomplish things and get things done. And it may really frustrate you when you don't receive the respect or the recognition that you know your work deserves. And realize there's going to be people that just don't think this way. Respect is not all that important to them. Think of like the STs on the Myers-Briggs is you can summarize ISTJs and ISTPs and ESTJs. That ST component there of sensing and thinking, you could summarize that with people that respect is a very important thing to them. Well, you might say, well, what is the alternative? What would not be more important than following chain of command and respect? What would be the alternative? Okay, you're probably going to bristle at a couple of these, but SFs, like ISFJs, the key word would be love. So think like relationship or love would trump respect. And then NTs, like ENTJs, INTJs, the key word would be efficiency. And so when it comes down to doing things the correct way or getting more results, the NTs might opt for what is most efficient, not following chain of command or not following the structures or respecting the structures as they are, but believing that we need to evolve around those structures in order to be more efficient. And then there's the NFs like me. I'm sorry, I apologize, because the NFs are probably the one you're going to have the most problem with, and that is going to be people that value authenticity. Like, I just got to be myself. I just got to do it the way that feels right to me. I got to do it when I feel inspired. And my guess is I love ISTJs. I love type 1s, but I can imagine that this is going to be an area where we will probably never really agree. I got to do it the way I want to do it, when I want to do it, and when I feel inspired to do it. And you're probably like, I just want to choke you right now, Tom. Just choke you. Because you've worked with people like me, and I'm sure that we drive you nuts. Okay, so I love and value the respect of others. And so, okay, what is the key here? What word do I hear pop in my mind is you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to be a disappointment, and you don't want to disappoint others. And it probably feels very painful if you were to be a disappointment. Maybe you know, I'm sure you did hear at some point your dad or your mom look at you and just go, oh, I'm very disappointed in you right now. And just me saying that might just send like shivers down your back. I heard that too. Believe me, I heard that too. It just maybe didn't have the same effect on me. I thought, well, I'm sorry, but I gotta be me. I gotta be true to myself. And I'm disappointed with you. I didn't say that, but I imagine that is very powerful to you. And just realize, like, people might figure that out and use that against you. I hate to think this way, but people might use that to manipulate you. You might be manipulatable because all they have to do is kind of look at you and say, I really thought I could count on you. No, it's fine. It's fine. If you've got too much to do, then, hey, yeah, I just thought that, that I could rely on you, but it's okay. And that internal sense of responsibility in you could be leveraged against your greater good and could be manipulated by others. Don't tell me it's never happened, right? Because I'm sure it has. Whereas imagine like an 8 or a 5, hears that and says, okay, well, good. I'm glad we have an understanding. Move along. I got stuff to do. And just doesn't give any mind to that. Okay. All right. So I hate disappoint. There it is right there. I hate disappointing others and being disappointed by others. So you don't want to go to bed at night like, I'm a screw up. I didn't get it done. I let everybody down. I just want you to see like that. When I envision this person, it's like this tremendous weight is on you. And that weight is called stress. And I appreciate, and we all appreciate you willing to do your part to carry the load of whatever organization this is we're a part of. I appreciate it, value it, and I'm sure that other team members appreciate it. I do feel a little bit of compassion for you because it's got to be very difficult to live under that kind of weight all the time. And remember, like if you are, for example, a type 1, ask yourself, what would a 4 tell you? Remember, you have a line to 4, right? So let me just ask you, what would a 4 tell you? And a 4 would say, is this meaningful to you? Is what you're doing, you're taking a lot of time and a lot of energy and expending a lot of care and a lot of psychological energy on this. Is what you're doing actually meaningful to you? What would you do today that is just meaningful to you? If you weren't concerned about doing the right thing, what would you do that would matter to you? And then think about type 7. That's what you integrate to. Much lighter, much more carefree, much more easygoing. And I know you're looking at me like, come on, Tom, that's no way to live. I got things to do. I got stuff that's got to get done. It's not going to happen on its own. You can bounce around like Tigger if you want to, but some of us have got to make sure that the field is plowed. We got to make sure the corn is planted. You want to eat, don't you? I get it. Look, man, I'm telling you, I appreciate the responsibility. Just make some room in your life for some joy. Make some room in your life for some laughter. Make some room in your life to just push back a little bit and say, you know what? I'm going to take the day off. Make yourself do it. I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to blow this off. I'll get to it tomorrow. Just notice how like you might feel a resistance to that, but it may be exactly what you need. And I bet you it's exactly what your family needs from you. Look, if you want to be a responsible parent, then you've also got to be someone that people want to be around. And okay, so maybe I've said enough. Maybe I've said too much. All right, so the metaphor is of a landowner, not a renter. I'm here, I own this, it's mine, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make sure the hedges are trimmed, that the bugs are sprayed, that, that the pool is cleaned. I own this. I have a bit of invested interest in the upkeep of this, and I want to take care and make sure things are done well. Great. And not a renter who's just, I don't care, bust another hole in the wall. It doesn't matter to me. I'll be out in a month. And we need this. I mean, society needs this person. We need more of this. More of us need to work on this. What? And you're like, you need to work on this, Tom. Okay, that's the whole point. Why do you think I'm doing this series? Because I recognized as I started leaning into this, I recognized, man, I'm not good at some of these things. And you might be sitting here feeling very proud of yourself. Well, I'm my top 5. I'm responsibility. People like, Tom, you need to grow up. Okay, well, you know what? There's a long list. There's 34 of these. And I can guarantee that there's some on the bottom of your list too. And we'll get to those. We'll get to those, all right? So all of us need some help. All of us have got some work to do. I'm not the only one. We've all got some work to do. And if you scored high in this, fantastic. Be the team leader, you know, be the person in charge. I'm fine with that. I don't want to be in charge of this. Be in charge of it, and use your superpowers, your strengths to make the organization, make the team better. I know you will. All right, so the metaphor is of a landowner. The barrier is sometimes you can't say no, and sometimes you can't let go. So you probably already know that about yourself, that sometimes you can't say no or have a hard time saying no. Why? Because you feel responsible. You feel like, well, somebody's got to do it. And if I don't step up and I don't take ownership of this, how can I expect others? How can I ask others if I'm not willing to, you know, step up to the plate and make sure that I'm doing my fair share and I'm doing my duty? And by doing that, you probably feel like, you know, you're teaching others, and hopefully will motivate others for them to do their part and be responsible. Although you've been disappointed many times, I'm sure, when other people just let you take all of the responsibility. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to be the point person. Somebody's got to say, I'll make sure it gets done. Okay, but don't move forward believing that all of it depends on you. Like, can you recruit other people and delegate other people and trust other people to come alongside of you, even though you know that you're probably going to be disappointed by some of their actions. All right, so let me just hit a couple of highlights from this book and we'll be done. This is Tom Rath, StrengthsFinders 2.0. He says, you're probably a very conscientious person and you care very much about your reputation, about people seeing you. There's that respect thing, about people seeing you as somebody who's disciplined, who will get it done, who you know, will make sure that all the details are taken care of. People know that you'll get it done, and you often are willing to volunteer, but can become overextended. You don't want things to fall apart and be your fault. And you don't have work ethics and then ethics. You just have ethics. And you're surprised when people have work ethics and ethics. And when people want to cut corners or want to color outside the lines, I imagine that's probably a problem for you, and you might lose your job over it. And you might lose your job because you care about doing the right thing. And that shouldn't happen, but it probably at times could happen. I can see it happen. You feel accountable and you have a desire to make things right. You align yourself with others who share that sense of responsibility and who have that determination to get things done and to do them the correct way or the right way. You are the kind of person that when you sign up for a project, you can be trusted to get it done. You might struggle with boundaries. You may or may not, but I can see where you could struggle with boundaries of just taking too much on and then being frustrated with yourself and others. Need to share, need to learn to defer. You could become overloaded. You need to work with like-minded people. You need metrics in place. And people who are working with you, it might be helpful if they understand your level of commitment and that it's frustrating when they don't live up to that level of commitment. Okay, I think that's good. I think we've pretty well covered this strength of responsibility. And thank you guys. And I hope that something that was said in this study would be encouraging to you. I just want to say I appreciate your responsibility, and I don't mean to take it for granted. I'm sorry when I have. And it's people like you that build communities. It's people like you that build organizations and make the nation great. Thank you guys, and as always, be present to life. I'll see you next time.